Learn everything you need to know about the U.S. agricultural system, growing your own food, and being an urban farmer. Watch the full interview with Michaih Hall now at ineverknewtv.com premium. When it comes to black farmers, history shows nearly 90% of their land has been lost due to discrimination, here's property issues, and other barriers. What do you think it will take to rebuild and sustain a thriving network of black farmers today?
So it's been by design that black farmers don't exist in high numbers because once upon a time all the farmers in America were black. If you really understand the history of America, you know what I'm saying? When it was at its economic strength, there's a lot of black farmers that was making that happen. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy that there's, like I said, only 2% or less of the farmers in America are black now. That's crazy to think, you know what I mean? But what happened is that, like I said, by its design, a system was created. Even more so than the farming aspect, a scenario was created that black people weren't able to own land and have land ownership. Whether it was straight just strong arm, like I'm gonna take your land and shoot you dead, or whether it was by some, tactics that like the USDA later on admitted to having certain policies in place that really hindered black farmers from accessing government funds that were available for farmers, government land that was available for farmers. By a system of design that was set up, they weren't able to do these things. And so they later on admitted that and awarded a whole lot of money, to the black community and descendants of, which, there's politics that are tied into all these things that have happened, you know what I'm saying, as far as black people and agriculture. But things are changing. There's more, especially because I kind of sit in this space. I see more people in our community having interest in this than ever before, man. And I telling you, because some of these other things have changed, the access to funds. So a lot of black people can now afford to buy that land, and they could afford to buy that tractor and buy a farm manager and have farms. You know what I'm saying? A lot more people are educated now than ever before about how to get around some of these obstacles, how to position themselves in a way to use some of these assets that are available to build their farm. You know what I'm saying? And then more people than ever before, I think, are starting to wake up to how much money. We're talking about $1 trillion industry. We're talking about a lot of money in farm, agro business, and the agro industries. And so as people start to see that, and I feel like the entrepreneurial spirit is very much alive in my generation and in the younger generations behind me. And they see this as a viable stream of income. You know what I'm saying? Not just that, but like I said, being able to use certain certain things that are available, tools that are available for agriculture, for farmers, to be able to build what you want to build. Yeah, man, it's a lot of opportunity. So with that being said, is there's a shift that's happening, and I'm glad to say that I feel very much like I'm a part of that shift and responsible for people that are seeing the possibility. And we try to make farming cool again. You know what I'm saying? But not even like that. Like it's cool because of how beneficial it is for you and your family. You know, it's cool because of how free you could become. You know what I mean? You're actually creating freedom for your food. And once you have food that's healthy, now we're creating health freedoms. You know, one of the main reasons why I even started growing food was because I understood that there was a health crisis in my family directly, but in our community. Everybody got family members that have diabetes, that have high blood pressure, that have cancer, all right, that have autism in their family, have mental disorders, right? We all Alzheimer's. That we all have family like that, and so I realized that was all health issues. That's related to what we putting in our body. And once I realized that, I was like, oh, solution. The solution is the food.